welcome to Table Talk at the Mutt. I'm Justin.
I'm Alex.
Boom! You didn't even do anything that time.
I know,
Oh, man. The
Slam!
last like 4 episodes, you always do something.
I don't
right
know,
then.
man. I'm trying.
Well, it's Halloween. This is the best day of the year. We've been building up to this the last 4 episodes, and this episode is going to be insane. I've been looking forward to this all year, since birth. I've been looking forward to this. So in this episode, we've decided to end the Halloween series by visiting 3 North Texas grave sites of some pretty infamous people. That being Lee Harvey Oswald and Bonnie and Clyde. Obviously, Bonnie and Clyde, there's 2 separate grave sites. They're actually buried in 2 separate cemeteries across Dallas, Texas.
One of the families, I think it's Clyde's family. They wanted to move him to Bonnie, or move Bonnie to him.
They wanted to?
Yeah,
or did
no, they want to still. They're trying to fight for it as we speak.
Yeah. So we did find out, and you'll see this when we show you the clips from going to those grave sites, that Bonnie was actually moved. I think it was her 2nd time being moved. So this is not her original resting place. It was getting vandalized. Things were getting left there. I mean, it was just, things like that. So they moved her to a newer cemetery, which we found out is very active. Very active.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. Clyde is in his own private family cemetery, so it's much harder to get to.
Not active.
Not active.
We're close.
But very Halloween, very
Yeah.
creepy. And Lee Harvey Oswald, he's in Fort Worth, and he's in a very nice, up-to-date cemetery. And at the end of this episode, we are going to do an honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Features one of the stars from the movie Skeleton Key, and it's going to be really cool. That's going to be a really cool stop. So the first one is Lee Harvey Oswald. That's our first stop, and I can't tell you how excited I was when I found out that he was buried. I mean, I should have known he was buried in North Texas. But he's responsible, if you're not familiar with Lee Harvey Oswald, which you probably are, he's responsible for one of the most infamous assassinations in United States history, along with Abraham Lincoln, and definitely the most infamous assassination in Texas history, and a very dark scar on Dallas, Texas history. So that's going to be a pretty crazy stop, because I've always been interested in the conspiracy thing, the JFK thing.
Yeah, it is interesting. There's so many different dynamics to it.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. So here's a clip from us going to see Lee Harvey Oswald. All right, everybody. It's our first stop, Lee Harvey Oswald. It's pretty cool for me to actually be a part of this and see this. This is something, I mean, the JFK assassination was huge for me when I was a kid. So
it's a weird outlook.
It is. I mean, that's something that I was into. Okay. But here we have Oswald's grave. There's a bunch of pennies and dimes and things like that people left behind in remembrance. But there's one thing that I really want to point out, and Alex saw this. The grave next to Oswald.
Old Nick Beef. Oh,
it's you talk about it.
All right, so this guy over here. So this is a guy who just bought this plot right here in 1997. The thing is...
Oh, no, I thought it was 77.
No, 1997.
97.
97. Okay. He bought this plot right next to Oswald. This dude ain't dead.
He's
alive and kicking. He's 50-something walking around New York. But his real name is Patrick Avadine, and he just bought this just to mess with Oswald, basically. He graffitied Oswald for life. This guy, ultimate prankster. Nick Beef.
It is.
Yeah,
dude. So the gravestone next to Oswald literally just says Nick Beef. And there's nobody there. It's just a stone.
Never will be. He said he doesn't plan on being buried there at all.
Yeah.
All right.
Super crazy.
Yeah, man.
So Oswald, you can't say made famous, infamous due to 1963, November 22nd. He allegedly assassinated the President of the United States, JFK. The Warren Commission said that he was a lone shooter, but there still are ongoing conspiracies and things like that.
Out on that one.
Yeah, the jury did say that Oswald shot him.
Sure.
So
I don't think that there's any doubt from conspiracy theorist views that Oswald did, in fact, shoot the president. I think the conspiracy says that he wasn't alone. There were 2 or more other shooters present at Dealey Plaza, and that's the whole gist of the conspiracy. But the Warren Commission, back in the 60s, I think it was in the 60s, had to have been really close on, did say that Oswald was the lone shooter. So here he is. This is the first stop on our North Texas Celebrity Grave Tour.
Graveyard Adventure.
Isn't that cool? Is it?
Yeah.
I mean, is it cool?
It is
to
pretty
be,
cool. I mean,
to be a part of this?
Yeah.
No. I don't know. It just still feels a little weird to be here.
I like how you invent, like, famous people's graves. It's still like, just, you know, just intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
That's our first stop.
Happy Halloween.
It's the first stop. You're already doing a farewell.
Yeah. All right, guys.
That was worth the entire video seeing Oswald in Fort Worth.
Don't forget Nick Beef.
Nick-
He deserves
Nick
some
Beef.
credit too.
So that is insane that Nick Beef even got away with that. The graveyard
it's like,
even
you
allowed
allowed-
that to
yeah.
happen.
It's like, all right, man,
That's crazy. So if you're wanting to see Lee Harvey Oswald's grave, if you're going east on Lancaster, you turn left like you're going to the funeral home, but go into the cemetery part, and then take your first left and keep driving until you see a red mausoleum. And then stop at the mausoleum, park at the mausoleum, and then next to it is this little, it's a really small, short little staircase, like a concrete staircase. Go up that staircase, you're on the correct road, just walk north, and it's a pink stone, and it's in the ground, like, obviously it's in the ground. It's not,
red granite.
yeah, red granite, but it's pink, because people keep touching it. But it's not erected, it's flush with the grass. So you gotta really be on top of it to see it. But, I mean, that's insane, because, I mean, that whole story, the JFK story, is something that I've always grown up with. It's been, like, you know, ingrained in my memory, and I just never really, like, thought of him as like a real person.
It's a mythical creature.
Well, yeah, because it's something that you're continuously, you know, I saw the video of Jack Ruby shooting him.
Yeah, you see a video of everybody else.
Yeah, and then I remember Oswald just saying, I don't know what's going on, I'm a patsy. So, I mean, it's crazy, man.
Now you know.
One of the most famous assassins in Texas history, in the United States history. You know?
Not wrong.
Everybody knows about the JFK conspiracy. Even today. That was 1963, November 22nd, 1963. And it's still one of the most talked about assassinations of all time. That's crazy. So the next stop that we are going to, Clyde from the Bonnie and Clyde duo. So this is the first scene from us going to see Clyde in his family cemetery.
A cool stop just north of Denton in Dallas, Texas, is a famous bank robbery duo known as Bonnie and Clyde. They're not buried in the same cemetery, but right now we are visiting the gravesite of Clyde Barrow of Bonnie and Clyde. Barrow? Is that how you say it? Barrow or Barrow?
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments what it is. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I guess you can't say it in the comments because it's going to say Barrow or Barrow.
Yeah. Oh well.
But this is obviously one of the graves. This is Clyde Barrow. We will be visiting Bonnie in the next. She has her own cemetery just on the other side of Dallas. Okay, we finally made it to the grave of Bonnie Parker. It was not as easy to find as Clyde Barrow's, but if you come into the main entrance, make a left, drive until you see the big gutter on the ground, and then go all the way towards the hedges, and you'll see an erect gravestone that says Tyner. Right next to that is Bonnie Parker and her mother. Bonnie Parker she completes the duo of the Bonnie and Clyde duo that, Yeah, they went around the United States robbing banks, and they murdered a lot of people. They were they were ambushed in Louisiana, and they're laid to rest here north of Dallas, Texas.
That was pretty insane.
Bananas.
So I didn't really understand. I knew that Bonnie and Clyde were separated.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually not that far apart.
What, like maybe 12 minutes tops, something like that.
Yeah, 12 minutes tops. So in Dallas, what's that, like 5 miles?
Yeah.
But I mean, seriously, they're not that far apart. So if you're going to go see Clyde Barrow, not Barrow, like I was saying, it's Barrow. We found out. If you're going to go see Clyde Barrow, it's a private cemetery, so you can get the information on Google. They recommend that you call or write the family beforehand. You know, it's a very unkept cemetery. It's completely gated. You know, if you're gonna
adds to the.
Yeah, it is very creepy.
Yeah.
It's very unkept, and the grass is very tall. So, and then we're coming to find out that there's other graves there that are worth a visit. So there's a whole website for this if you want to go check it out and go see Clyde Barrow. As for Bonnie, she was actually moved from her original cemetery because of vandalism. So the cemetery she's in right now, and we talked about this earlier, is extremely active. Like,
fresh graves everywhere.
fresh.
I mean,
like, if you
funerals
go
going
see,
on.
yeah, if you go see Bonnie Parker, you could walk into a funeral. Like, it's that active. So be respectful if you're going to go see Bonnie Parker. Clyde Barrow's cemetery is no more. They don't bury people there anymore, so, not a big deal there. You just have to contact the family. Bonnie Parker, on the other hand, very active, so be aware of that. I know you're going to have a hard time figuring out if there's an active funeral, so just if you are going to go see her, be respectful of those around you and have a good time. Right? It's pretty cool, man. Those are 3 insanely awesome figures in Texas history. I mean, I wouldn't say awesome,
yeah.
but like
Interesting.
Interesting is the word for it. They're all assassins. All have a dark past. Very creepy. Very cool. But they have a lot of followers. Bonnie had lipstick and flowers, and Osborne had
Oswald.
Oswald.
Still alive, man.
Sorry, man. So he had a bunch of like dimes and nickels and pennies placed on his stone. Dimes.
I said times.
Times. And then Clyde Barrow, the same thing. He had a bunch of change and rocks and flowers. It's actually, there's a few YouTube channels, obviously on YouTube, and it said that a real popular way of showing gratitude or respect to a grave is placing a stone on the gravestone, like a rock or something like that, something that stays. And so I did see that a few times, especially at Clyde Barrow's grave. But I mean, you do you. These people have dark pasts, so they're not. I mean, you don't have to pay for respect. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I did find out while we were doing this. I mean, there's a bunch of cool graves. I mean, you have Stevie Ray Vaughan.
That'd be a cool one to see. It's huge.
Yeah, that one's a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
But this is like the best way to end the Halloween season. I've actually been looking forward to seeing these graves and like doing these things. The next grave that we're gonna go see is pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it. It's New Orleans, so we're gonna go see some.
I won't be there. Cool.
Don't be so sour about it.
That's fine.
But New Orleans has like the really cool grave system. Like all the graves are above ground, so it's really creepy. It adds to that vibe. This year on Halloween is full moon. It's the blood moon, which is really cool. Hasn't happened in 44 years, so that's pretty cool. And it's on a Saturday. When was the last time it was Halloween on a Saturday?
And daylight savings time, so you get that extra hour of Halloween.
Do you get an extra hour, or you lose an hour?
Yeah, you get an extra hour. You get an extra hour.
You fall back. I think we lose an hour.
You fall back, so you gain an hour. Because you spring forward.
No, because when it goes to 2 a.m., it goes back to 1 a.m. Wait, what?
So you're... Math. What?
We get more time?
Yes.
To party?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Even though technically I guess it's over at midnight anyways. Halloween, so...
Halloween is never over.
Okay, I mean...
Ever.
Oh, fun fact. Just gonna throw this tidbit in there. There's a town in Alaska called the North Pole.
Oh, are we already starting the Christmas thing?
They celebrate the Christmas holiday 365 days.
It's not time, man. We haven't got through, first off, Halloween. Second off, Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet,
Yeah,
and
but
then
I
it's
mean-
Christmas's turn. Please, people, back me up on this. Is it time to start talking about Christmas?
Once you hit November 1st, Christmas music.
If you're the owner of Walmart, you think freaking July is perfect time to start talking about Christmas.
You get with that guy.
I hate it. I hate it seeing those
Your
Christmas
best friends.
trees. I hate it.
I love it.
Okay, so here's a shot of me going to New Orleans
Yeah,
to
just
see to see Marion Zinser. Yeah,
Oh,
from the Skeleton Key. She was the creepy bayou lady from the Skeleton Key. So here's that.
I'm at Greenwood Cemetery in downtown Louisiana. If you're a fan of cemeteries, or if you're into this kind of thing, especially around this time of year, definitely a must-see is any cemetery near or around downtown New Orleans. The surface of the ground, just below that, it's got a lot of moisture. So the graves tend to float upwards. So what they do to get around that problem is they built these tiny little above ground mausoleum style graves for each individual person, which makes for a really cool, spooky environment. Check it out. This is a really cool stop for anyone who's a fan of horror movies. Marion Zinser, who was the creepy bayou lady in the Skeleton Key. She's laid to rest here in Greenwood Cemetery, Louisiana.
I don't want to hear you being upset that you didn't
So
go.
upset. So
that you
upset.
didn't go.
Did you guys
to New
enjoy
Orleans.
that? He did.
Dude, you're about
I
to go
did.
to New Orleans.
Yeah, but
Are you taking me?
don't put me in this situation.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
See? Calm down, man. Punk. That was really fun, though. I mean, I'm pretty excited about that, to see those graves. This whole experience was super awesome.
Yeah,
This is like the
it really
best
was.
way
Yeah.
to spend Halloween. And it's not even over yet. The festivities are just beginning.
Festivities.
If you're coming out to the Mutt, we have the Blueberry Mimosa, which is really cool. Pair that with the Knife Rose chocolate cake. It is fan-freaking-tastic. We got a lot of things going on. Come get you some candy and hang out and have some beers in the patio.
We'll all be dressed up in costumes.
This guy. This guy. What's your costume?
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. So are you going to carry around a painting, or is your wife going to be your painting?
Nah, she's gonna be 11 from Stranger Things. With a little waffle fanny pack.
When we first opened,
Yeah.
last Halloween, that's who won our costume contest.
Yeah.
11.
Alyssa.
Yep.
Yep.
She was 11. That was pretty cool. I like
Yeah,
that.
I'll win it this year.
Halloween's the best holiday ever. I'm just super excited to do this.
But who said you can't dress up in costumes on Christmas? Or technically people do. Santa costumes.
Those people go to jail. Those people go to jail.
Whatever.
What are you talking about? All right. Thanks for watching us on Halloween. I hope you have a super awesome Halloween. There are tons of haunted houses out there. We recommend, Dark Hour, Hangman's House of Horrors, Cutting Edge. I mean,
Dance.
Parker House, Dance
There you
in Flower Mountain. There's a ton of Halloween haunted houses around here. Check them out. During COVID times, it's hard to get, on the list. So get your tickets beforehand if you're going to go to a haunted house. If you're going to come out here, we're open till midnight. We got tons of treats and options. It's going to be pretty cool.
Do we have a band? Maybe.
Band. To be determined. Oh,
All right.
That was fine. That was Shut up, man. That was my Dracula laugh.
That's a Dracula laugh?
What was it? What did it sound like? What was it supposed to be?
Do it again.
Santa?
Do it again.
Was it Santa?
It's a spooky Santa.
Is it spooky? Krampus? Is that you?
That's the cool part about Christmas. Krampus?
That's the only cool part about
The
Christmas.
demon that just takes
You know what? I'm
children.
not against Christmas. It's just not time. Right? I don't hang Halloween decorations on Christmas, and I don't hang Christmas decorations on Halloween.
When's the appropriate day to hang Christmas decorations?
After Thanksgiving. The very next day.
Okay, I'll allow it.
The very next day.
So that's when I can decorate the brewery?
Come on. All right, yeah. You do you, boo-boo. You do you.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. That was our Halloween episode. Check out all the whole Halloween series that we did when we went to Goatman's Bridge. We played the brewery roulette, Halloween style. We did the courthouse, the Bean-Boozled, which was pretty cool. I mean, check out all the series. It was a lot of fun doing this. There were 5 Saturdays in October, so we got to have a lot of fun with this.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Cheers. We'll see you at the Mutt.